Thanks for watching.
What's going on YouTube? This week we're going to focus more on the post-harvest activities going on here on the farm, specifically taking care of down brush from the cherry harvest. Of course, with the kind of size crop that we had this year, there's a lot of breakage down in the orchard from all the weight from the cherries on the limbs. So we got guys going through with chainsaws and pull saws, and they are cleaning the brush up, windrowing it in the middle. And I got our brand new chopper on our brand new tractor here, and we are going to take it up and down the rows here and start shredding the brush up. So the reason that we need it set up like this, like the tractor and the chopper here, is because we try to prune 600 to 800 acres a year out of all of our orchard on a nice little 3-year rotation to get through everything. So in order to get rid of the brush, we had another method where we would push the brush out with a backhoe and a rake on the front, but that was kind of starting to tear up the orchards, and we spent a lot of time on our new plantings smoothing up the ground so that the rows are as nice as they could possibly be to drive across, and we don't want to ruin that by digging tines of a brush rake down into the dirt and ruining it. So we thought, what better way than to invest in a direction that doesn't involve pushing the brush, just chopping it, shredding it right where it's at, and then there's no burning, no complaints from neighbors. We don't have to call the fire department and get a special burn permit to take care of the brush. You can pretty much do it any day, anytime we want. It's a great setup. We did have to make a skid plate for it, so obviously you can tell it still needs to be painted, but we add the skid plate to the bottom because we drive directly over the front of the brush, and it goes underneath and helps kind of push it down so it slides right under the chopper perfectly. So let's go over this combination of our John Deere tractor and our new brush chopper here. We purchased this tractor this spring. It's new to us. It's a John Deere 4050, 130 horsepower. The chopper behind it needs a minimum of 100 horsepower to run, in order to chop effectively. So we went with a little bit bigger tractor, but we had to go with the older style because of how narrow the rows are with the cherries, with the cherry branches in between. So we went with the older style with the rounded cab, so it would fit better down the rows. There's a couple other reasons why this tractor is good. The transmission on this tractor allows for you to just kind of shift without having to stop and push the clutch in. It's a shuttle, so we're easily able to switch between gears when there's a gap in the brush, so we can speed up or slow down depending on how thick it is. So that's a huge plus. Now back here to the chopper, like I said, it came from Jollison's. This is a store here in Traverse City. The pull flail mower from Rears. It runs on 2 belts. I'll open this up here. So here's the belt system. Always check this at the end of the day. Make sure the belt's still tight. These lines here are for greasing. There's 3 zerts up top. There's another belt on the other side that's just the same. So these green tines here will hold, when it's down, they hold the brush in underneath. And so another thing that we need to do at the end of each day is come under here and check to make sure that all these hammers are still intact, because when one's gone it starts to swing out of balance, and that's no bueno. So we double check these at the end of each day to make sure that all of the hammers are still attached. What's up, my friend?
How you doing?
What are we doing today? ¿Qué estamos haciendo hoy?
Loading tanks, empty.
So one of the other big projects that we have to get done before all the labor leaves is we need to get all of the equipment cleaned. It's behind me here, and over 1,000 cherry tanks that need to get power washed, bleached, and cleaned before we put them away in storage here behind the building, or we send them back downstate to our southern Michigan farm to store at the receiving down there. So I got what, 4 guys here cleaning. I got 2 guys running forklifts and 2 guys power washing. So we'll get some footage of that, and then I'll show you the inside of the barn here where we stack them 7 high at the very center, and then kind of 6-5, and work all of our way down on each side of the corner with a little bit of space to walk around the edges.
Hey, tengo un tanque bonito.
¿Ah?
Un tanque bonito, un tanque feo.
So that's going to be it for this week's video. We got some brush chop, we got the tanks getting cleaned, we're going to start with some equipment next week. In this video here, we planted our nursery. This coming week's exciting because we're going to start budding that over to our different varieties of apples that we're going to plant. Honey harvest is about to start, so if you missed this video while we were out putting the bees out this spring, you guys can get caught up on some of that information so you know where we're sitting and what's going on. See you next time.